Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Metroid Prime Randomizer Weekly Race. I am RoboScout, and with me I have...
Captain MD13.
And today we have a very big race. In addition to being a new time, we have 7 people racing in the weekly today. Unfortunately, we cannot fit 7 screens on here, so there is only Arrow Razor and the Ginger Chris.
That's all right. That's still a fine pool of racers here to demonstrate their skills for us this afternoon. And it is
Yep.
Sunday, so it is a lovely day for Rando regardless.
Yep. Yeah, but in total, we have 7 racers. We have Interslice, we have Op82, we have Arrow Razor, we have Sasquatch 954, the Ginger Chris, Uncle Reggie, and Pyro Paper Plate. So,
Op82 coming off a very respectable third place finish in the Echoes Weekly yesterday.
yep. So, we got a lot of people, everything going on, and everyone has readied up. The race should be headed off soon.
Excellent. We are on our odd settings this week, which means that we should be having vanilla elevators and nothing particularly complex with early items.
I mean, you say that, but then Prime's just gonna throw a curveball at you.
It probably will. Artifact and biohazard containment.
No. Bombs and biohazard containment.
Oh my.
I have seen that happen, and it's beautiful.
Alright, yeah, we will be catching up in just a moment.
Yep, just restream delays. And there's a bit of a delay between the runners actually starting in real time and them going off in the commentary. But it looks like they are off for now.
Probably going to see our runners do that all-famous space jump first maneuver here, get their first item in Alcove.
Yeah. Looks like Arrow did not get first time, but TGC did. Doing some nice follow-up dash to just shave a few seconds off. It looks like our first item will be Spider Ball.
Ooh, that's an interesting. Yeah, very interesting start. Spider Ball doesn't really open up a whole lot right away. It does make getting to Furnace a little easier, but hey, early bombs.
Yeah, those are bombs onto the ship. And it will make so you don't have to worry about Dynamo for the entire seed.
Very true.
Yeah, I think we might need to turn up game audio a bit, because I think it's pretty quiet on the stream. I can't hear it all on comm stream, so... I'll see what I can do, chat.
Yeah, the comm stream might just be a comm stream thing. Because
Yeah.
it sounds like it's coming through all right. I'm listening to the Twitch playback, and it's coming through fairly solid.
Yeah. We're currently using TGC. Oh, he has very low audio, so... Let's see what upping it up quite a bit will do. Alright, his audio is at 290 arbitrary audio measurement units at this point, so...
Alright, we're getting our first look at Main Plaza, which is got quite a... Well, it's got two interesting things. One is 2 missiles on the half-pipe and the grapple edge. The other is, I assume that was nothing.
Yeah.
Because that suit texture looked a little too bright to be barrier or gravity.
Yeah, I know in tournament it was voted to not have nothings anymore, but no, weekly settings just never got updated, and we're stuck with them.
I believe that was either a visor or space jump boots in probably space jump boots in Ruined Nursery.
Yeah.
But Arrow Razor has finally acquired Spider Ball from Alcove and will be making their way to Chozo.
And of course, upcoming is everyone's favorite boss, Hive Mecha. Bye, Hive Mecha. Nice knowing you.
We didn't even get to know them.
Yep.
Alright, pair of missiles behind the Hive Mecha today. Particularly kind of slow start here. We actually, we still can't get those, what I assume were space jump boots in Ruined Gallery. We really can't do that much else besides go back to Artifact Temple.
Yeah.
Because...
I've upped TGC's audio quite a bit, but I'm still not really hearing anything on the comm stream. You all getting anything in chat?
Yeah, I think the comm stream has its own, has a different audio channel. So we're working with the SG staff to get that all sorted out. So in the meantime, we do hope it is coming through on air, which I think it is.
Roller did say that they have audio. It's just very quiet for them, at least. Interesting to see our runners high-fiving a bit right here.
Yeah, the delay with SJF, it's just like test jump in Prime 2 Echoes, where you try to get a really early item, but the trick is somewhat dumb and can lose you a lot of time if things don't work in your favor.
I will say SJF is much easier than test jump, though.
Fair enough. Even still, it's the trick that it's effectively on the same order of magnitude for early item acquisition, but can lose you a lot of time if you struggle with it.
Alright, looks like it's just an issue with comm stream. Runners, they can hear the runners just fine.
Thank you, chat. So our next item it's probably actually going to be Morph Ball at Artifact Temple, because there really can't be that much else at this point, unless our progression is in Transport Tunnel A.
Could be Transport Tunnel A. Logic loves putting progression items down there. Looks like TGC is going to head down there first.
Actually, I can't remember. Is this one B and the one in Magmore is A? I always get those mixed up.
I do not know, honestly.
I actually think this one is B.
World's Eternal Mysteries.
It is A, okay. Thank you, Gollum.
Yep. Ooh, and that's Varia in Transport Tunnel A.
Okay, an actual suit after a fake suit. No complaints to that.
That could make early Magmore a very interesting prospect for these players, as Magmore has tended to be pretty stacked in 2.5.
It has, and we saw a lot of evidence of that at the conclusion of the Prime 1 Rando tournament earlier this year.
Well, Logic just said, fine, if I'm not allowed to stack things in Chozo, then I'm gonna stack things in Magmore.
That sums it up, really.
Although it's not as bad since Magmore's a bit later and has fewer checks. But yeah, I remember the weeks of everything being Chozo loaded in 2.4.
Yeah, I was saying earlier that in the early stages of the tournament, every round of Swiss almost kind of felt like a different category of a league, where every week was different. Like in weeks 1 and 2 were relatively smooth. Weeks 3 and 4 were Chozo Jet Seeds, and then week 5 and beyond was good luck getting to Magmore.
I feel like week 1 we had some awful seeds in week 1. Like I think we had like a running count of how many times bombs were on Thardus.
For a time, yes.
And like the first seed in the tournament was like a 2.5 hour seed.
It was, that's right. The first seed of the Echoes tourney last year wasn't brilliant either, because it had Light Beam and Mining Plaza.
But anyway, enough about previous races, let's talk about this race. Good old Artifact Temple loading screens.
Yeah, usually Prime 1 is pretty good Prime games in general, besides, to a lesser extent, Corruption
Prime
are pretty good about hiding.
Prime 3 is really bad at its loading.
Yeah, Prime 3 can have a few trouble spots. It makes sense since it's a much bigger game, but what do we have here in Artifact Temple? We have Morph Ball.
TGC's trying to skip the cutscene a bit too early. Let's see.
Guilty.
When will he give us our hints? Will he be generous, or will he be greedy and hold off on them? There we go. Alright, let's see. How cursed are we today? Fiery Shores.
It's pretty free.
Looks like TGC is taking the opportunity to write them down. Not a bad idea.
Better for
Yeah,
us.
Drona Canyon. We appreciate it. Commentary stream is commentary stream.
Canyon's also not too bad
Short
either.
Tunnel.
Short Tunnel. That needs power bombs, but that's still relatively free.
Yeah, power bombs. This isn't like Echoes where power bombs, you need the main
Vault,
item.
that's
Yeah,
free.
Vault, that's free. Transport Tunnel A. Wait,
Okay. So then the lower place is B.
got it. And Triclops Pit.
Wow, those are all practically free.
Yeah! Suppose this is what happens when we
Like,
have
we
people
literally-
besides Diggle generate seeds.
Yeah, I think the only major thing we need at this point is...
Well, all the beams and phase on
Power?
suit.
Well, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting all the other stuff. But yeah, almost all the artifacts in very free spots in Magmore. None of them in ridiculous spots like plasma processing or workstation.
Yep.
Alright, TGC is going to go ahead and grab those bombs under the ship.
Oh, yes, and to quote chat, stack more caverns strikes again.
Well, it certainly has the artifacts. The question will be whether it has everything else.
Yeah, because remember, Phazon suit's still in play.
Mm-hmm. And Phazon suit is only unobtainable in one location.
Yep.
TGC electing to not check for the cache.
Wait, did he grab his bombs under ship? Or behind ship?
TGC grabbed the bombs,
Got
yes.
it. Just making sure, because tracker didn't show him. Never mind, it's just slow to update.
Yeah. I noticed like several pop-ups at once earlier too. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, the artifacts are all relatively free today. The question just becomes, where are the beams in the suit?
Yep. And of course, there is power bombs to worry about, but considering this isn't Echoes, that shouldn't be too big a problem.
Yeah, there's a grand total of like 7 power bomb related drops in the pool. if I'm not mistaken.
It's main power bombs
7 or
grants
5?
4 power bombs, and there's a total of 8, so I believe it's 4 power bomb expansions, so 5.
Okay, so it's, yeah, 5 items. That's still pretty
Yeah.
solid.
I mean, that's the most progression in items of a single type in the game besides missiles.
Makes sense.
And unless you're me, you generally don't worry about not having missiles in a seed.
Yeah, well, Prime 1 does have a very, shall we say, wonky drop system, let's be honest.
Yeah, that... I just remove all the missiles from my seeds. And it looks like it is Space Jump in Ruin Nursery.
Okay, so we have the early Chozo package with us now. That puts those extra missile tanks in the main plaza into logic. It gives us a extra way into vault. We're pretty much golden for a while. Not much else though. No hint of where any other progression items are.
Yeah, true. But is seeming like a decently fast seed so far.
Well, certainly for Chozo, the question's gonna... Well, and to be fair, we can pretty much use our current equipment to go all the way through to Magmore, to Fendrana.
Yep.
DGC trying to make sure to still not trigger the Hive Mecha Fight. The trigger is still there, so you gotta be careful.
Stays there until you fight it or you beat the game.
Alright, TGC electing not to rush Magmore just yet. Gonna grab the Vault artifact real quick first. You might as well, it's right here.
Yep.
We could also check all of the items in Rune Shrine too. That's 3 items up for grabs there. But yeah, as Gala points out, we literally just need a power bomb, and then we can get every single artifact that we have been presented with, pretty much.
Yep.
Because Canyon can be circumvented with only space jump.
Although it is certainly possible for power bombs to troll you in these seeds.
Yeah, we saw a couple of instances of that back in the tournament. Not too many, but a couple.
Yep.
I think actually we had one seed where there were 2 cases of powerbomb locked powerbomb tanks. One of them was short tunnel.
And that is Ice Beam in Ruined Shrine. That is very nice fun.
I was gonna laugh if this was if the other 2 things were the other beams.
that will be pretty funny.
Yeah, not the case today,
that.
unfortunately.
Wonder what that is.
Yeah, it's glowing like a Christmas tree. It's a bright. It's not a Christmas tree, but a bright Christmas ornament. Yeah, I would say that looks like main power bombs to me.
Yeah. So artifacts go mode, I guess. Lane. Yeah.
Oh my.
Do we need to go higher lane to do all of our tourney generation from now on?
Honestly, I don't mind the occasional challenge.
Yeah.
Arrow Razor, meanwhile, got nothing! Yeah, the other 6 artifacts are replaced by those joke nothing items, essentially.
I remember a while back there was a discussion to see if we could replace the audio pickup sign for picking up a nothing item. Unfortunately, it never went anywhere.
Yeah, I know there's like sound effects randomizer for N64 Zelda games, but I would certainly be enjoying sound effects randomizer for Prime. Ruined Fountain seems to have just missiles for us today. And Ice Beam and Spider Ball are actually pretty important because that basically gives us access to Far Chozo.
Yep. In logic, too, which is the important part. Kind of important part, I guess.
Precisely. Alright, Ginger Chris is going to go ahead and check out the Watery Hall items. Interestingly, another thing that has been very lax besides... another thing we've been kind of lax on this seed is energy tanks.
Yeah, that is true.
Because we're about 15 minutes in and no sight of a single energy tank. Arrow Razor, check this out. It's going to go ahead and do the Magmore play early. That looks like missiles at Vanilla Charge.
Yep. For those who are not aware, we have modified the game to start with Charge Beam. And that is why I'll always just start with Charge Beam, because we found just... Charge Beam isn't necessarily an item that locks off a lot of checks, but the game just... It's a big pain to play if it gets shuffled and it ends up being like it's somewhere like lower mines, which it can very easily be. So for that reason, Charge Beam is often an exception in the randomized games.
Yeah,
unless you're me, and I enjoy suffering.
Yeah, for perspective, Pea Shooter Beam, yeah, that's what I'm calling it, does only 2 damage per shot. Fully charged does 50.
Yeah.
So... And as any of you who may have seen Digglerat's SG live run back in late November, or mid-November, I should say, doing Ghosts without Charge Beam is painful, to say the least.
Yeah, you have to give each of them 100 lemons.
Alright, what is up here in the top of Gathering Hall? Just some more missiles. TGC is going to go ahead and pick them up. Picking up, like, missiles that are, like, right in front of you like this, I always find aren't a bad idea, because the extra ammo, it does two things. It saves you from having to worry about drops, and it just means, you won't have to be thinking about things.
Yeah. Oh, and taking a look at some of the other streams to find something out, and looks like we're going to be finding some nice surprises sometime soon.
Ooh, I'm interested to see where that's going. Interestingly, Dynamo, despite that spider ball early, Dynamo only had a pair of missiles.
Yep. Of course, it's Dynamo. What do you think would happen?
Not much different, actually.
Dynamo never has anything, except when you forget about it, in which case it has phase-on suit.
Pretty much.
I remember one of my first ever weeklies ever, Dynamo had phase-on suit, and some people were searching for that for like an hour.
Wow, that stinks.
Yep.
Alright, let's see where TGC decides to go next here. Looks like it's in the direction of Zoid.
Yep. Our good old favorite incinerator drone.
And Arrow Razor, I think, is going to go ahead and get Warrior Shrine and Fiery Shores out of the way now. Nice 3 items available here total.
Yep. Ooh, and it looks like that is Gravity Suit and Warrior Shrine.
Even better, that was... Oh, it is Gravity. I thought it was Phase-On for a minute. It looked like it because of the darkness, but nope. And another Power Bomb tank, so definitely not a Power Bomb start to see, that's
yeah,
for sure.
it's needed. It is quite something.
So far, Air Razor's decision to go to Magmore early has paid off in the form of a suit.
Yep. And of course, grabbing quite a few artifacts.
I'm gonna get to see the shore tunnel now.
Yep.
Oh right, that is an artifact.
Yep.
Is Impact Crater required? To answer a question, chat, yes it is. We do need Phase-On suit and all beams.
Yep. Unfortunately for Arrow Razor, it looks like his decision to skip late Chozo will bite him right in the Phase-On suit.
Oh! Nice one.
Good old time travel. Just taking a look at some of the other runners' streams and saw that some of them had Phase-On suit after doing Zoid, so... Yeah, this is...
We're literally just
unfortunate.
We're just looking for Wave and Plasma, which basically locks out half the game, especially if it's Wave Go mode.
Yeah. Or could be Plasma Beam if any of our runners are insane enough to do Exo Skip.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I mean, we could still have Plasma and Biohazard containment.
Yep. You could still have it.
I was dreaming up all these horrible ideas at the start. Now it looks like we're not going to see any of them.
Yeah, this is looking like a very Jet Seed so far.
That's an energy tank case nice in Vendrana Shoreline.
Yeah.
Didn't see what was in the tower.
Yeah. See, it has been very stingy with energy tanks, though.
That's sort of a penalty you have to deal with Jet Seeds. You get a lot of progression items, but not a lot of defensive items.
Yep, that is true. Although, it is looking like they will be able to grab all suits pretty easily.
Yeah, all suits is just nice for the extra 50% resistance, because both runners are running 2 suits right now, so they have 20%, so that's still better than absolutely nothing.
But the difference in magnitude between 2 suits and 3 suits is big.
Very big, because it goes from 20 to 50.
Yep.
Alright, TGC continuing this Chozo dive, going to Far Chozo, courtesy of that Ice Beam and Spider Ball, I would wager.
Oh, and there's Wave Beam!
We are literally just Plasma Beam Go mode.
Although, Arrow is unfortunately still searching for Phazons. We know, he's probably not gonna find it for a while.
Alright, upper furnace, rather, looks like another missile tank. And I keep on trying to see what's up in the lighthouse, but didn't look like anything important. But Arrow Razor is going to go ahead and check Chapel of the Elders. Can't check Chozo Ice Temple without Plasma.
Yep. But you can go all the way into Chapel of the Elders, though that is a pretty lengthy check to do by itself.
Yeah, the decision to, as someone who also races as well, the decision to go for a one-off check is always a very tough one.
Yep.
You really do never know whether or not your gamble is going to pay off or not, unless you just like get some kind of hint or you lose a logic or something like that.
Yep.
That brings up a good point. Supers is all we need to put Flagra and Ghost both together into logic. We have Flagra, but we don't have Ghost yet.
Oh boy, that would be a glorious seed. Just pretty much everything within the first 20 to 30 minutes, except Plasma, which is on Ghosts. Oh, it's beautiful.
Well, whatever that was, Arrow Razor decided not to go for it.
I think it was a nothing.
It might have been a nothing. It didn't look like missiles.
Yeah.
And it definitely wasn't Plasma Beam. Ooh, TGC just a tad bit far back. Trying to be fancy.
Fun fact with you actually don't even need to land on top of the grip. You can just do a single bomb jump and then go just run into the hands and it'll pick you up just fine.
Fascinating.
Yeah. The JoJo aren't that picky about their bowling balls.
Yeah, no, this is a very accessible Chozo bowling alley. It's got good handicap accessibility, like Chozos in wheelchairs can go bowling. It's really nice, actually.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
Missiles in Ice Ruins West.
I think that was just an E-tank up in the top of Crossway.
Well, we're pretty much out of purple items anyway, so
yeah,
probably an E-tank.
Probably an E-tank.
And
it is interesting that TGC did not go for it. I know I certainly would if I was only at one E-tank at this far into the seed.
Yeah, one thing I do notice is that with practice, doing stuff with less E-tanks becomes a lot more common. That's I got to the point in Echo's randomizer where I was comfy checking Sky Temple key hits with a 1 energy tank area suit myself. So,
yeah.
Granted, that did have to result in save scumming the hints, but even still. And you're seeing there.
Yeah.
You're seeing their Arrow Razor just doing a slope jump to get out of Canyon without boost balls. Not a fairly easy slope jump, and that's all 6 artifacts for Arrow Razor at 27 minutes.
Yep. This has certainly been an interesting seed. It is incredibly unfortunate that that Phazon suit was on Zoid, because otherwise he might be a very comfortable lead right now.
Yeah, TBC is trying to be thorough, check everything, not leave anything like Plasma or maybe Supers behind, just in case something related to those show up. But unfortunately, we just know that, at least for Wave Beam, it's in... Actually, the fact that we've got Gravity and Wave means we only need Thermal Visor to put Frigate into logic.
Oh, boy, there's plenty of options for Plasma to be cursed.
Yeah, Plasma Beam Go mode at least locks out lower mines, but unfortunately that's about all it locks out.
Yeah. There's a few scatter checks in Chozo and Kendrana as well, but it's not much.
Very true, all the iced up checks.
Yep.
Looks like TGC is finally done with this Chozo dive and is going to go to Magmore without fighting Flagra.
Yep.
Arrow Razor, meanwhile, has safety saved. I would wager this is a Labs play. Fair enough. Just about everything besides Hydra in play here. And with Ice Beam, even easy transfer to far Chozo. Kind of sketchy, though, with only 200 energy.
Yeah, true.
Ice Beam does help here, though.
Yeah, Ice Beam helps a lot. It's mostly just about stun locking and freezing the pirates. Honestly, I found the turrets to be a bigger threat than the pirates themselves.
Yeah, it's really a case of pick your poison with Labs.
Yep.
I think Arrow Razor just got, I thought Arrow Razor maybe had gotten a double kill with that missile, one shatter and one explosion, but not quite.
Oh boy, I've been taking a look at those runners, and I just saw Plasma Beam acquired on one of them. So,
Oh my.
yeah. I will just say said runner does not have Phazon suit, so this is still very much could be many people's race, but
Yeah, that's the thing that we're noticing is that all the major items are still scattered quite far about, because Weight Beam was all the way in Ice Ruins East, but Phazon Suit was all the way on Zoid.
yep.
And Gravity Suit was in Warrior Shrine, so yeah, it's all over the place.
Yep.
Still.
Although at this pace, we're looking at a Visorless Essence, which is top quality and extremely annoying.
Not to mention, still a bit of an energy tank shortage here. TGC now has 2, to be fair, but even still.
Yeah, runner who just got Plasma Beam only has 2 as well.
Yeah, the developer brings up another point. No sign of boost balls, so Ridley is going to have to be done the hard way.
Ooh, boy. We might actually have runners that end up dying on the final boss here.
Yeah, and dying on the final boss is just painful, because assuming you did not save an Impact Crater, you gotta go fight Ridley again, and then go walk all the way back up Impact Crater.
Yep.
So, highly recommend, and this is something that I would definitely do, is after defeating Ridley, if you were that low on energy tank, save an Impact Crater. Absolutely.
Yeah. Normally I would not, but when you're at that low E-tanks, better to be safe than sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, to just clarify on one thing in chat, any of the Powerbomb expansions could be considered the logical Powerbomb tank the game expects you to get. So we've seen a couple of free Powerbomb tanks over the course of the run, like Lava Lake, for example, was a free Powerbomb tank. And this one, it's Powerbomb to a Powerbomb, but it's still relatively free in Upper Fiery Shores.
Yo.
So yeah, those Powerbombs aren't locked by any... Well, this Powerbomb tank is actually locked by Boost Ball and Logic, but the first one we saw earlier in Lava Lake is not, so...
But that would mean that Gravity Suit is technically Boost Lock.
Very true, unless we find another free Powerbomb tank.
Yeah. That being said, it's not like Gravity locks off that much of the game.
doesn't. It really only locks out some checks in Farfendrana and Frigate. That's about it.
Fun fact, waste disposal, that one water room in, Phase on Mines, yeah, there's not actually any water physics in there in the game. It has triggers to remove water physics upon exiting, but it doesn't have any triggers to actually make you start water physics. So as a result, even if you don't have gravity suit, you can navigate that room just fine.
Fun fact, this control tower trick the Arrow Razor just did still works in Trilogy. So does skipping the fight trigger, both of which Arrow Razor managed to pull off.
Yeah.
Now this couldn't have been anything too crazy since it's plasma locked normally.
Yeah. It could be boost ball or a visor, which would be nice.
Very true. But yeah, now TGC is going to be making the traversal through. Oh, has to go back up TTA. But is going to be making the traversal to pick up the remaining 2 artifacts. So TGC and Arrow Razor are actually going to be, besides the Phazon suit scenario, pretty even in terms of pickups. Yeah.
It's really just going to depend on how soon Arrow and the runner who has Plasma Beam are going to just go back to grab Phazon suit. Otherwise, they're in a very good position.
I think the best incentive, the best reasoning to maybe go back to check Zoid would be to think about Far Chozo, because Far Chozo's not, it's not too far to Zoid, but Far Chozo and Zoid are 2 Chozo areas that haven't been checked yet, and they both have a good chunk of items. The only thing that I could think of that might actually push them back in that direction is Plasma Beam, because that does add Elder Chamber to the list of checks. Plasma Beam and Super Missiles.
Yeah, given routing, I would imagine Arrow. Oh, and there is Boost Ball.
That's nice.
Yeah. Given the routing Arrow is going for, I'd imagine he is probably going to end up checking Upper Mines before he checks Far Chozo, just because that gives you a nice clean loop around the world.
Fair enough. I think with Spider Ball, I think we can get to the other Fendrana elevator if memory serves.
Yep.
So that's how we can get to. That's how Boost Ball can be past Observatory, because we have Ice Beam, so we can get in from the. Although, I think the game expects you to get Wave Beam and then go all the way back around if that's the case.
Yeah. Nothing said anything about the logic being good. It's just possible.
Yeah, so logically, that's actually a trash location for Boost Ball, but with sequence breaks, it becomes a cakewalk. Yep. Yeah, the early Spider Ball being put to very good use here. Let's see what's in Gravity Chamber this time around. Arrow Razor is hopping down, so maybe there's something important in there? Oh, Plasma Beam. Well, seed over. Well, seed solved at least.
Yep, that's where that was, so... It's really just going to depend on how soon Arrow and Uncle Reggie, who was the guy, the first one to find Plasma Beam for my research into all 7 runners, yeah, how soon Arrow or Reggie just go back to get Phazon suit.
Yeah, TGC is looking pretty good here. So basically it was just get to Far Fendrana and then go back.
Yeah, you just did a pretty clean sweep through Chozo early on. You honestly probably had very clean routing throughout this.
Yeah, no backside Magmore, no mines. Completely minesless seat today.
Yeah.
Yeah, no mines, no frigate, barely any Talon besides the berry suit. Oh, well, the early Talon, yeah, but no anywhere else. Yeah, this is a very, I would classify this pretty much as a jet seed.
Yeah, I'd definitely say this is a Jetsy at this point.
A couple of scattered items, but otherwise nothing too difficult.
Yeah, I mean, TGC just has to pretty much just go through mines, and then he'll be able to grab Plasma fairly easily, and that's, what, like 10 minutes? 50-minute go mode is not bad at all.
Yeah, especially with all 6 artifacts already in tow, and Boost Ball is going to fall on his lap too in the process.
Yep.
So Ridley will be a cakewalk. No super combos, but you really don't need those for the end game. They're nice, especially Super's an ice spreader, but they're not required.
Yeah. Although, if y'all don't mind spoilers, but it looks like Slice managed to just grab his plasma. He does have phase on suit, so I think we're inclined to see him just gun it back to Talon soon and finish up the seed.
Yeah, this is definitely looking to be a sub-hour seed, and that's as a runner, you love to see it.
Yeah.
As the audience, though, it leaves you wanting a little.
Research, the only one person has found oh, never mind, it looks like 2 people have found a X-ray at this point, but yeah.
Interesting. We'll see where they are anyway in the credits, so I'm curious to know where they are.
Ooh, it looks like Uncle Reggie, who does have plasma, he's heading back to Chozo right now, so he might be on track to go do Zoid and find his face on suit, so never mind, we could still have a pretty close race.
Yeah, it's like I said before, Plasma Beam is kind of a good way to nudge you back towards Far Chozo, because of that extra check in Elder Chamber.
Yep.
Not utterly scream it, but just a gentle nudge. The utterly screaming would be super missiles. Also, I find it interesting how this plate in Hydra can just be busted out like that.
There are a lot of little intricate details in Prime. I think they were. You can tell that sometimes they were going for something that ended up just being ignored. Like my favorite example, just being that Spider Ball puzzle in Impact Crater. It's this giant maze of Spider Ball rails. You can just jump over it. They tried to add like a lot of firefight elements to a lot of the pirate fights, like cover that you can destroy.
Yeah, it is really interesting how much destructible stuff there is, all things considering.
Yep. And there are even some enemies who can destroy covers on their own. Like, Prime actually has damage types, and like most enemies use the NPC damage type, but there are a few that use other. Like I know Magmorphs are the big one. They use the flamethrower damage type, and because of that, they can actually open doors.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Kind of like, and also kind of like how the toxic bubbles from those venomous plants in Talon can also at least trigger door notification messages. Oh, Arrow Razor's doing Farnus.
Oh. Yeah, that hurts.
Not sure if this was intentional or not.
Millie does have Plasma Beam and Power Bomb, so it shouldn't be a too bad catharsis fight.
Oh yeah, 7 Power Bombs and Charged Plasma Beam makes this fight a cakewalk for sure.
Yep.
Alright, TGC getting first try control tower skip, nicely done.
Yep. Fun fact, it was actually recently discovered you don't need bombs to get out of there.
Yeah,
there is some invisible geometry you can use to jump out of bounds and then jump back in bounds on the tower.
Yeah, so you really only need, can you do that without space jump?
I believe you do need space jump for it, but
Fascinating.
Yeah.
It's actually going to be really...
I think you would need Space Jump to get here anyways.
You're probably right. Probably to cross the gap.
I think maybe there's some runner who found some insane setup to get to Control Tower without Space Jump.
Yeah, interesting. And I'm going to be very curious to see if this is a thermal visor on Thardus, because if that actually... No, it can't be thermal. Thardus expects thermal. TGC is very happy to see that energy tank. Could still be X-Ray, but X-Ray would do us absolutely no good at this point.
Yeah. It would be nice for a final boss for Essence, but it's far from mandatory. And yeah, it looks like Influence just hit his Meta Replace, so I think this C has a pretty clear winner in the bag.
And 5 missiles on Thardus.
Ah, just what you love to see. I find it interesting how in both Prime and Echoes, it isn't the last boss that's considered the most cursed one, it's the second one.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious, because the final bosses tend to at least be... I'm not sure how final bosses are viewed among the player base between Echoes and Prime, but I find the Echoes final bosses to actually be quite enjoyable, especially with Screw Attack.
Or at least, like, Quadraxis and Omega Pirate, you don't see, like, those aren't considered, like, cursed locations nearly as much as Thardus and Chica are.
I think the reason for that is because both of those bosses, Thardus and Chica, are slow bosses regardless, unless you have, like, Cannonball for Chica. There's really nothing you can do to speed that up.
Yeah.
And in the case of Thardus, you have to watch him throw a temper tantrum twice, so...
And he just has, like, a bunch of different weak parts you need to destroy.
Arrow Razor, I think, is trying to get Quarantine Monitor Dash, but is having... Or either that or just trying to figure out where to go from here.
Yeah.
And TGC is meanwhile checking Security Cave and... Storage Cave. That's the one. He's going to get Plasma Beam in a few moments out of Gravity Chamber, though. Chad brings up another good point. There's 2 checks technically behind OP and Quadraxis, because Quad has both Quad himself and the Sanctuary Energy Return, whereas OP just has, where OP has OP himself and PCA.
Yeah, that is interesting, both of them. And that is also true for the first bosses as well, because Flagra has Flagra itself and then Ghost, and Amorphis has Amorphis itself and then Central Mining Station, if that's the correct name. It's the main Aegon room.
Mining Plaza. Mining Plaza.
Yeah, the middle boss in both games are the only ones that have only one check attached. And it looks like TGC has finally found his Plasma Beam and is now hitting go mode.
Yeah, 46-minute go mode. As a runner, again, you love to see it.
Yeah, this is definitely a very fast seed.
Yeah, TGC should be probably done within the hour.
Yeah.
Although, 3 energy tank final bosses, 3 suits to be fair, but even still, not particularly pleasant.
Yep.
Oh, and I think Arrow Razor is looking to do plasma processing here. Yeah, it's so unfortunate that Arrow just decided to skip Zoid, because if he hadn't skipped Zoid, he'd be in go mode by now.
Yeah, that really just...
It was...
There are many weeks where Zoid has nothing. This was not one of those weeks.
And it's a sensible play, especially given you know where all the artifacts are. You wanna try and big brain rushing the artifacts and hope that your progression just falls on your lap, which for the most part in Arrow Razor it basically did. The only thing is the one mandatory item that is needed every Impact Trader seed is not.
Yeah, I really can't fault his routing right here. he made a very sensible check, and odds are that probably would have been a good decision, but the odds were not in his favor today. But that's what's happened when Rando's gonna Rando. There's always luck involved.
That about sums it up, really. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
AeroRazor is deciding to take the long way to get to plasma processing. It would have been very interesting if you could boost off of these spider tracks. I would love to see the crazy kind of morphball parkour that boosted spider track could have in Prime 1, but sadly that is not the case.
That is true. People get up to some really stupid stuff with spider tracks in Prime 2.
Yeah, to a lesser extent 3 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Spider Ball's a very, very late item in Prime 3 when you think about it.
Yep. Yeah, I do find something I have found interesting is that how the item order changed throughout the games, and the Spider Ball got progressively later and later in the item sequence, while Grapple Beam got way earlier.
Oh yeah.
Boost Ball is easily the most consistent item.
Yeah, Boost is pretty consistent, I'll agree to that. I'll tell you what's all over the place in the Prime series is the suits.
Yeah, that.
Because in Prime you get the suits, there's 3 suits for one thing, and you get them, somewhat sequentially one after the other.
Yeah. They're pretty much always the last upgrade in each world.
Yeah. In Echoes, your first suit is after the first temple, and then after that, not until the end game, not until cleanup. Then Prime 3, it's literally get PvP suiting to end first 30 minutes, and then after that, no suit upgrades until, I think Hazard Shield is like your second to last major upgrade in the game.
Yeah. Weird. I think it's like third, because I think there's still Nova Beam and Hyper Grapple after it.
Yeah, if you don't count hyper items, indeed. AeroRazor has returned to Talon, might be heading back to Chozo this way, but is probably going to take a quick detour to check Harbor Chamber and Root Cave, which we never saw Root Cave from TGC early, because TGC didn't come here with Space Jump.
Yeah, that is interesting. One of those things about jet seats is that you can kind of forget about the early locations sometimes, because you just don't have...
Space Jump?
You go.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you.
We're both interrupting each other. Commentators
I was
first.
just saying, pretty much. But, yeah, Space Jump was actually kind of a bit back and forth, all things considering, because it was Morphball in Artifact Temple, took bombs under the ship, and then you had to go back for Space Jump. Then you had to, if you wanted to check it out of logic, granted without X-Ray and Grapple, but even still. But yeah, at this point, TGC, it's actually, our runners are going to high-five a little bit here. One's going into Root Cave, the other's going, I guess TGC is electing to check the Root Cave item. He might be looking for an energy tank or 2, or super missiles.
Or just a visor.
Yeah, they're both getting quite hung up on this, actually. I think AeroRazor wasn't high enough that time, and looks like he might be getting a tad bit frustrated.
Yep.
This is not an easy scan dash to do, to be fair.
Yeah, it is one of those tricks that will give a lot of new runners trouble. Looks like TGC's just given up and heading over to Artifact Temple.
Right as AeroRazor pulls it off, too. So let's see what's in here. Assuming we don't have any platform hiccups here.
can't be X-ray since you technically need it to get up here.
Yeah, I don't think this can really be... Well, it could be thermal, but the thing I think Arrow wants to really see right now is supers.
Phazon too, I'd imagine.
And it was... Well, yeah, especially Phazon, but given we know it's not there, the next best thing we could see is probably supers. But an energy tank is nice, too.
Yep. I guess regular missiles will have to do.
Unfortunately. Oh, and TGC's going to make a quick detour to Frigate Crash Site.
Interesting.
So yeah, I guess TGC's not particularly cozy about doing final bosses with so little energy tanks.
Yeah, and no visors.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like this is what the punch that Ginger Chris is going to have to roll with.
Yep.
Let's see where Arrow decides to go next. Looks like Arrow's going to get the missiles at Frigate Crash Site. Now, Arrow Razor could check most of Frigate. Mike is probably going to check Overgrown Cavern at the very least. Might end up dipping Frigate. The only item that can't be checked here is Biohazard.
Yep. And even then, you can get a little peek in there.
Very true. Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 different ways to climb this place.
It is always, it feels like every runner has their own way of climbing it. Which I find to be very funny, considering it was never meant to be climbed in the first place.
Yeah.
Thanks, Retro, your spaghetti code helped.
Alright, looks like that was another tank, and Arrow Razor is going to continue on into Farchozo out of this, so we'll at least be in the right region for Phazon Suit. We'll see if it decides to head on over.
I looked at other runners, it looks like Reggie has 5 E-tanks. Initialize is on Essence right now with 3. Op is on Impact Raider with 3. Pyro's in the elevator.
I can imagine that the energy tanks that were probably skipped from the runners that have energy tanks will probably Overgrown Cavern and Root Cave.
And it looks like Pyro at 5.
And Andrew Chamber X-Ray. That is not something you want to see. An Arrow Razor is turning around. This is no good.
Yeah, that's...
Or just take the saving. I can understand that you want to save your critical items, especially given how close, given how low energy tanks. So now Arrow Razor is running a little smoother at 5, but
oh no.
Still, best to have safe.
He's moving away. And it looks like Interslice has finished in first place with a time of 56:54.
My goodness gracious.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, Arrow's going back into town. This is unfortunate. It's a fair play because there are a good chunk of items back here, including Life Grove and Great Tree, but that's unfortunately we just know nothing important is there.
Yep. It's just one of those things. It's a lot easier to route when you're in the comm chair and know where everything is.
Yeah, or you have a spoiler log.
Yeah, that's true.
And is that thermal visors back to back?
Well, that's where they were hiding.
So they weren't too far away.
Yeah, no.
Now watch this. Watch super missiles be in here.
Oh boy.
In Life Grove.
Arrow, the most prepared person for the final bosses.
Alright. TGC very wisely took a safety save in Impact Crater. Arrow Razor, meanwhile, having a tiny bit of trouble with Life Growth Tunnel, but not too much. Life Growth Tunnel is just terrible. It's because of the way baseball half-pipes are coded.
Yeah.
Where they try to change your controls to a more half-pipe focused one, where you can only go in the directions of the half-pipe. But when it changes between the two, sometimes it takes an extra a hot second or two, and you basically have no control. Echoes has a similar room, Plaza Access, that does the same thing.
Yeah, I remember in the week last night, I was giving one of the runners a lot of trouble.
It was giving me a bit of trouble, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And there's another energy tank in Life Growth. All the energy.
Yep.
Innerslice is joining us in the Twitch chat saying, simply put, Jet Seed, and we couldn't agree more, Innerslice. GG to you, congratulations.
Yeah. Very well done on your work, Innerslice. There were a lot of people hot on your heels.
TGC's on Exo, so it won't be too much longer. We hope.
Oh yeah, never mind. Uncle Reggie has already finished in second place with 57.43.
Wow. Not too much of a gap. That's a really short second place finish.
Huh, interestingly, it looks like Uncle Reggie actually had a shorter game time than Innerslice did. Got a 49 and Innerslice got a 50.
Maybe save scum's an item or something?
Yeah, maybe. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
Watch more cutscenes.
Did more elevator trips. Lots of things that go down that way. Oh, it's measured out.
Oh, Uncle Reggie is joining us in chat, so Uncle Reggie GG to you as well. Yeah, Arrow is actually having a lot of trouble getting out of Life Growth here.
Yep.
He's been stuck on this for 7 minutes now.
Could just go fight Ghost if he wanted to. That sounds very fun in a race context.
Well, he does have X-ray, so it wouldn't be that painful.
I used to hate that fight before I figured out you could just jump out.
I think Arrow Razor might be hitting R2 late, not getting the extra horizontal speed. Because it seems like horizontally Arrow's falling short. TPC, meanwhile, is taking down half of Exo, but still, it has also lost a full energy.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried about that plasma bomb that's still up there. Ooh. Ooh. That does about 80 damage if it hits with 3 suits, so yeah, watch out.
Yeah. You know, TVC was very worried about, he was trying to do a bunch of additional checks to get additional intense before heading into final bosses, so...
Yeah, he unfortunately gave up on Root Cave, was struggling with the dash, and it's a bummer because that would have netted him another energy tank. Alright, Arrow's back in Chozo. So... will we get the... not Plasma, Phazon suit in time? Yeah, for anybody who may just be coming in, the story of this seed is that Arrow Razor decided to rush Magmor early after the early Chozo checks, and as a result, passed up Phazon suit on Zoid. going to have a little less trouble doing it with Ghost courtesy of that X-ray visor. Well, Ghost, similar actually, because it only won the first trip.
Yep.
Although since Arrow Razor entered from the back, never have to do with the 3 Ghosts. No, we'll never have to activate the weight portion of this room. I am curious to see the credits and find out where the rest of these super combos were hiding.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't know if any of the ones we finished Ghost and Guitars right now.
Well, TGC's Exo's being a little argumentative with TGC, but he's handling it pretty well, all things considering.
Yeah, I don't think it matters if explode being done on those inner slice. We're all gonna find out basically the same way by reading text anyways.
Alright, but TGC is on sub-chamber 4, so anything goes in here, like random fast charges, getting heated across the entire arena in that charge.
Yep. Exo is gonna do what Exo is gonna do.
Arrow Razor is getting this elbow chamber. I do believe this is new information.
Who knows, maybe it has supers.
Maybe. Nope. Supers, Elite, Wave Switcher, Wave Buster, OP, Ice Spreader, PMT, Flamethrower, HAT. Wow, they're all in the tunnels.
Yeah, that's,
Those are all terrible. Those are all terrible spots. Except, that's not too crazy now.
yeah. And Elite Research isn't too bad if it wasn't, you know, off on its own in the middle of getting nothing else there.
Exactly. I spread around OP. Yeah, you are not having an easy time with this Exo fight, whether you liked it or not. I'm still just amazed at how little was required this seed, all things considering. Again, no far, besides the plasma bead, not much in far Patrona, absolutely nothing in nothing in lines, nothing in Archos or technically. Nothing in Card Talent or Frigate. Grapple was in Frontal Hall Access by so lower mines. Wow.
Wow.
That is a bad spot for Grapple Beam.
Yep.
He's almost got Exo down, and there it goes.
Yep.
Alright, so TGC is going to get a bit of a health refill here, but has to do Visorless Essence with 400 energy. Have fun, TGC. Arrow Razor, meanwhile, is going to fight Zoid for Phazon suit. And unfortunately, the TGC finish would probably come right around the time Arrow Razor grabs Phazon. Boost Ball was logically trash, because Boost Ball by logic expected you to get Wave Beam in Ice Ruins East, go all the way back around, and enter labs from the back, to go around up that way to get to Research Gladiator.
And of course, we are going to be seeing a very fun Visorless Essence right here.
And TGC's just trying to find her first. Unfortunately, did not.
Yep. Primal likes to move around quite a bit when it's invisible.
Yeah, you can track her target marker with Scan Visor, but that's all you can do pretty much.
Yeah, that, and she has an annoying tendency to move around in between you seeing the scan marker and switching to the combat mode so you can actually shoot her.
Yeah, there's a nice visual cue for when phase-on shots hit as well, but looks like TGC must have found it. Oh, or not. And yeah, that's two pulls.
Yep. At least Arrow just found his phase-on suit.
Folks, this is the penalty of visorless SSC. Basically, no clean shots until third pool.
Yep.
Of course, you don't get crazy.
Which is, of course, always fun. But the good news, there are spots you can stand in the arena to guarantee that Essence will never full skip you. That is, of course, assuming you're basically just standing there doing nothing the entire time.
Oh man, looks like TGC monster again. Oh, there it is. Yep, there's the impact.
There's also very clear audio with Essence screaming, basically.
Very true.
And it looks like TGC is actually at 89 energy right now, which could be concerning.
Yeah, very concerning indeed. There is a red drop there, just in case. So that's going to bring TGC back over 100, but that's still pretty dangerous. Ooh, and an impact from Essence does 15 damage, so yeah, you don't want to take too many collisions there. TGC's also going to run low on power bombs too.
Looks like Alp's been going at Essence for a while now because people go by this thing. Oh, it looks like Alp did just finish up. Yeah, 110.55.
And TGC's down to 2 power bombs, so not a whole lot of tries to make the rest of the Metroid to take off. Oh, and I think TGC managed to at least cancel one attack there, so managed to get a shot for a split second.
Air Razor, for all his routing disadventures, he's going to have a very easy Essence compared to the rest of the people here.
Yeah, and now keeping eyes on TGC, because if TGC takes a death here, that actually may help Arrow Razor catch up big time.
Oh no, and it looks like TGC has forfeited from the race. Which I think we can figure out what that means. Yeah, sorry for the time traveling bad news, everyone.
Ooh, and ooh, yeah, there's the shockwave impact.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, the lack of energy tanks and visorless just makes this such a painful fight, no matter how you slice it. GG's to TGC nonetheless for still putting up a fantastic performance this seed.
Hopefully we will be seeing him come in for a post-race interview soon.
Yeah, as far as the restream placements, yeah, Arrow Razor's going to have no trouble dealing with Essence at this point.
Yeah. And of course, you see that TGC was going out of his way to try and find any additional E-tanks he could right before the fight, and now you can see this would have been very well worth it.
Yeah, just that one the Root Cave energy tank, that's probably the most painful one. Either Root Cave or Overgrown Cavern.
Yeah.
They're both right there.
Yep.
Arrow Razor is doing a good job getting charge cancels there, and that's Ridley down for Arrow Razor.
Looks like Pyro Paper Planes is just finished in 4th place with a time of 1:14.00.
And Arrow Razor, meanwhile, is going to head into excuse me, into Impact Crater with a much more sturdier loadout.
Yep. Looking at our remaining, looks like we only have 2 runners left in this. Those are Arrow Razor and Sasquatch. Arrow, I'm pretty sure you are all aware what he's up to right now. And it looks like Sasquatch is in Chozo searching for Plasma Beam right now.
Chozo searching for Plasma. That's basically the polar opposite of Arrow looking for Phazon and Phendrana.
Yeah.
And we'd like to welcome the folks joining us in from SpeedGaming 2. You are joining us in the tail end of the Metroid Prime Randomizer weekly race, now on a new time here at SpeedGaming at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sundays, excuse me. Saturday's the Echoes race.
Yep.
And we're just winding down here as Arrow Razor is going to fight Exo, while the Ginger Chris has unfortunately taken a dot forfeit as a result of a death on a 3E tank visorless Essence.
Yep.
At this point, we're basically just watching Arrow Razor waltz on through the finish line here.
Yep. Unlike the others, he will be having no trouble in this fight against the crap with multiple personality disorder.
Yeah, in the meantime, as we are winding down here, I guess we'll just get this out of the way now. We do invite you to follow both of our runners who, again, have put on a great show for you here this afternoon. We also want to shout out our tracker Gollop for 2 reasons. A, being an awesome tracker for these Prime races, and number 2, gracing us with the amazing Corruption Randomizer.
Yep. And it looks like we have TGC joining us for a post-race interview.
Good evening.
Yep.
Oh, I was not comfortable one bit going into Crater with 3 tanks and no visors.
Yeah.
So, we do feel compelled to tell you there were 2 E-tanks in Root Cave and Overgrown Cavern.
That's annoying, because the reason I was doing Root Cave was in hopes to dip for 2 E-tanks. It's also why I went to Crash Frigate as well. Was hoping to kind of pick one up. So that's really annoying.
Yeah, we were saying that you and Arrow were both struggling with that for a while, and it was just painful when we learned it was an energy tank.
That's annoying. That's annoying. Oh well, like I was okay to some degree. It was, I think, the lack of visors. Like, I've not practiced Essence without visors at all, so I kind of knew that was going to trip me up in the kind of low health side of things.
Yeah, your Exo fight actually wasn't too bad, all things considering, although you were not getting any luck with super combos because they were all in lousy spots. As we learned later, I'm going to actually pull up the chat right now. It was Supers in Elite Research, which mine was Baron, so you weren't going to get that.
Yep.
Weightbuster was on OP, Ice Spreader was in Phazon Mining Tunnel, and Flamethrower was in Hydro Access Tunnel.
Ugh. None of those were ever getting picked up.
Nope.
Yeah. I don't think anyone got any of those.
Yeah, that is horrible. That is actually horrible.
Yeah,
No,
Arrow
that,
Razor.
Oh, on you go.
Arrow Razor did actually find both visors. X-ray was in antechamber, and thermal was in great tree chamber.
Okay.
So yeah, they were not close, but not. Thermal was logically ridiculous, but because thermal was on the other side of frigate, but yeah, they weren't out of the way, but they weren't in the way either.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious as to see how other people routed with their seed, because I kind of felt like I done something not necessarily silly, but a little kind of weird in the fact that I decided to clear Chozo first, or a bulk of Chozo before chasing my artifacts.
Arrow Razor ultimately decided to go to Magmore much earlier, but passed up Zoid, so was very late to Phazon suit, but did find Plasma.
Yeah, because like the way I kind of looked at it was like, my 6 artifacts are pretty much all in a line. So what I wanted to do is basically gamble that Chozo had a bunch of good items like visors and stuff like that, and then just clear out the artifact collection. And the only thing I literally walked away with was pretty much just Phazon suit, which was a nice pickup. It was a nice pickup, but kind of felt worthless at that point.
Yeah, Phazon suit go mode is definitely, the worst one out there, because it's only one check it can't be in, so got the whole rest of the world open. Ironically, the check it did lock had Ice Spreader.
I've not actually pulled up the stream at all. How's Aero doing?
It's hanging in there. It's just about to wrap up EXO in Subchamber 4.
Yeah, Arrow mostly just beamed it straight for Magmore and Phendrana early on, and because of that, he didn't get his Phazon suit until much, much later.
I'm not sure how much energy that just did, but damage those 2 ice balls did, but that looked like a lot.
Yeah, but he has like 90 tanks after all his searching, so he should be just fine.
Surely. I'm actually curious now. I'm looking at the playback. That did like well over 100 damage, I think. Oh, and as additional insult to injury with the seed, Grapple was in Fungal Hull access, literally the farthest place it could have been.
Fair enough.
Yeah, everything that wasn't required in the seed was just cursed.
That and Boost Ball logically expected you to go all the way around Phendrana after Wave Beam.
Okay.
Yeah, since it was past Observatory.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, because Spider Ball lets you reach Workstation from the monitoring side.
I hadn't even considered that, actually.
Yeah, that was a pretty significant... yeah, if you knew Observatory Dash, you were having a good time in labs for sure. Arrow Razor's being cautious to grab the extra health pickups here.
Oh, he'll be fine with his loadout.
Absolutely, yeah. He's got both visors. Both of you have plenty of power bombs. has been a little screwy with me. Okay, it's sorted out. But yeah, it's almost curtains for Essence here for on Arrow Razor's side. Just one more pool should do it. Oh, but it looks like got pool skipped.
Oof, yeah, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, the tell for that is when you see Essence just change visors immediately, because the sequence is always like shockwave, shockwave, however many shockwaves, drop pool, switch visor. But if it goes from shockwave to switch visor, that's the pool skip. I don't like that particular position either. That looks dangerously close. Okay, never mind. Just a bit further up than I thought. One Metroid deciding to give Arrow Razor a little hug there. Looks like Arrow Razor's just going to play it safe and attack cancel into the next pool. Doesn't look like Arrow Razor canceled out all the attacks properly. But at least knew which one was going to spawn the pool. Pretty heads up, gotta say.
Hopefully this should be the last pool.
Yeah, I think Arrow really doesn't have to go too ham on pool cancels. I think just unloading into Essence at this point will do it. Unfortunately, it looks like he's lost track of the pool.
Let's see, will he get it? Oh, just a sliver of health left.
You hate to see it.
That hurts. Can't barely even see the health.
Yeah, it's like literally like 1 pixel of HP left. Thankfully, thanks to the pool cancels, did get a little bit of attack skips. But this should do it right here. And Arrow Razor will finish first amongst our restream and 5th overall with an official race time GG time of 1:25.26. So GG's to Arrow Razor. Once again, GG to all of our participants. And Arrow Razor joins us in the booth. GG to you.
GG. Oh, that I was sitting here thinking as soon as I got my artifacts, I'm like, okay, we're about maybe not even 30 minutes in. I have all my artifacts. Now watch Phase On be all the way back in Chozo.
Well, that about sums it up, really.
So instead, I do all back at Vendrana, Thardis, then clear out back of Magwar, then Life Grower. I'm like, oh, come on.
Well, the end result of that is that you had probably one of the most comfortable Essence fights out there as a result. TGC
other than getting
went in there.
other than getting actually headbutted out of the phase on pool.
Yeah, the pools were a little less.
The pools were not kind.
Less pleasant.
But at least I had the visors. Finding them back to back was funny.
Yeah, that was very funny. Unfortunately, TGC ended up trying to just tank visorless Essence with only 3 energy tanks, and it didn't quite work out so well.
I think I had, 9? I had, 9?
You had a lot of energy tanks for sure, and the visors, and you were the one who helped us discover that Root Cave had a spare energy tank. TGC was also trying to go for it at the same time you did, but you were the only one to pull it off.
Yeah, I've been playing too much Echoes where I'm failing half of my scan dashes.
Yeah, Prime and Echo's physics are weird when it comes to sideways speed.
Like, I knew when I was trying for Quarantine Monitor, I knew there was a good chance I wouldn't get that one. But I was getting mad at missing Root Cave.
Oh, I gave up after the 3rd try. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bank on Crash site, the Crash Frigate site. Hope there's an E-tank there. Go in with 4. And it was a set of missiles, and I was like, oh well, let's slum it. Let's go in.
Yeah, I was Oh, I did. Well, what I did is I never went to the second half of Chozo because after I did Front Chozo, I had Ice Beam. I had a lot of movement. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Let's go through Magmore. There's a lot of artifacts there, and I can technically collect all of them now. And then if I find ice on the way, cool. Labs isn't an issue.
Yeah, that's a mentality I've sort of adopted myself, where if I know where my keys are, I'll just try to pretend I'm sort of in go mode, and if all the progression falls on my lap, great. If not...
Yeah, because like
well,
I wasn't skipping checks or anything, but I was just going like in a line to get the artifacts as quick as possible.
That's essentially what the game was asking you to
Yeah.
do, although the logic for Boost Ball was technically trash because it was past Observatory, therefore you had to get Wave Beam in Ice Room.
Yeah, it was expecting you to get Wave Beam and go around through Magmore. So that's all Boost Ball. I got a little laugh at that. I'm about to see what the supers are. Let's...
Oh yeah, you're gonna love this.
Yep, that wasn't ever gonna happen. Why are all of the beam combos except for Flamethrower and Phase On? No,
exactly.
Because Phase On Minds wanted something and nothing else was there.
No.
Yeah, because technically, if you wanted to do Visorless Essence, Backside Talon wasn't required, Mines wasn't required, Workstation Mines wasn't required, Workstation Magmore wasn't required. Far Chozo, yeah, you needed to go get Plasma Beam, but that was
Yeah,
it.
when I saw those finishes, I weren't surprised because I cleared out the entire back of Phendrana, which wasn't too surprising because after I got Plasma Beam, I was like, okay, I can clear everything here, let's do it. Then fought Thardus, then... I even went all the way and did Plasma Processing because I was like, this Phase On could be anywhere.
I was kind of lucky in the fact that I cleared Chozo, or a good chunk of Chozo at the beginning, and got my Phase On before picking up my artifacts, and it was literally just a case of clear out the artifacts and look for the rest of my beams.
Oh yeah, if I had done the other end of Chozoverse, this would have been even quicker. I would have never went to Life Grove. Given I would have never got my visors either, though.
That's a good point. Where were the visors? Did you say Captain?
You're gonna love this.
Okay. X-ray. Well, one of them was on Ice Beam.
Yeah, X-ray was in Antechamber.
And the other was in Great Tree Chamber.
They were right next to each other.
They were side by side, basically.
Rude.
Yeah, I got those back to back, and I was like, well, I was gonna like reset back to Chozo, but I kind of want this visor. Though at this point, I'm wishing I had, since I missed the Life Grove jump like 10 times.
Yeah, we saw that was another struggle for you there.
Yeah, just a couple of the movement things was just a pain today, because like I think at the very beginning I spent like 2 minutes doing the alcove jump because for some reason Samus is like, no, I don't want to go high enough.
Either that or you were secretly playing PAL temporarily. Although, as I understand it, there is a PAL version of SJF available now, so...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can target one of the in the path to Artifact Temple through the doorway, and just use that as a scan point.
I will say, though, I am glad Observatory Skip was very kind today.
Oh, yes, because that basically saved you that horrible logic chain for Boost Ball.
Yeah. Well, I would have kept attempting it until I couldn't anymore. Because at worst I could have tried scan dashing off of one of the little panels, which suck, but doable. But I was like, nope, let me keep this pirate alive.
Playing a little sidestep with you there.
Ball. Yeah, I thought Boost Ball and just laughed a little bit. I'm like, that's funny.
I haven't even processed Boost Ball was kind of locked behind Observatory because I'm so used to doing the Observatory climb that I just don't consider that being kind of like a logic requirement. So yeah, I just picked up and went, oh, that's nice to have, and just kept going.
I went in early. As soon as I saw Space Jump, I'm like, all right, let's go straight to Transport Tunnel B. Hopefully this is Morph Ball or Bombs, and then the other's an Artifact Temple. Because I didn't check behind the ship again. But I went and I still grabbed it as soon as I came through with Morph Ball, but still.
That actually, now that you're reminding me, that was a bit of a weird kind of route of items. Going to Chozo to get your missiles, go into Artifact
Yeah.
Temple to get your Morph Ball, pick up your bombs, and then go back to Chozo to pick up your cheat shoes on the wee ledge, the nursery, is it? Or is it gallery?
Rune
I never
Nursery.
remember which one's which.
Yeah, Rune Nursery.
I got those, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. Part of me says go to the rest of Chozo, but another part of me says, like, screw it, go straight through Magmore.
Yeah, we don't fault your routing for going all the way through
No,
Magmore and Fendar.
The only thing that really sucked is I should have went and did Chozo stuff first before committing to Life Grove, I think is the big one.
Yeah, because
But at
again,
the same time, that was a choice. That's why I saved there in the back of Chozo. I was like, okay, if there's nothing in Life Grove, I can just reset back and not lose much time. Oh, a pair of visors. Cool.
yeah, because again, when you went to Magmore, literally the only thing you ended up leaving behind was Phazon suit. So
Yeah.
ultimately everything was along the route. It's just unfortunate that you skipped Zoid, of all people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm usually one person who will refuse to skip it, but I just never went to that set of Chozo until the end of it. So it was like, well.
With that said, is there anything else that you folks would like to say about the seed before we close out?
No, this was just another jet seed ruined by the hunt for Phazon.
Oh my goodness.
I was actually
that's-
hoping it was Stardust just for the lulls, but
That would have been hilarious.
at least
Oh,
I
the
didn't do
cry.
Sun Chamber.
Yeah, that is true. Sun Chamber was not even looked
I
at.
actually was getting worried that Sun Chamber could have been there, because when I was running around looking for plasma, I was really, really wishing it was just going to be on the route out, and luckily enough it was in Gravity Chamber, and I just did not want to
Yeah.
go back to Chozo at all.
Yeah, I was sitting there after I did Zoid. I was going to do Watery Hall. I'm like, all right, if it's not Watery Hall, I have to go fight the plant. But
Yeah, like Watery Hall really annoyed me, because when I went through it the first time, I was like, I don't trust the energy that I have to check what's under the wee alcove bit. So I went out, and then I kind of second guessed myself and went, right, I'm going to go save and go back and check it, and it was just missiles, and I was like, well, that's a waste of time.
if I only have one or two E tanks, I tend to just go in just enough to scan the item.
Yeah.
And then if I've got 3 or more, if I got 2 or more, I will tend to at least attempt it. If I have space jump though, it's free, but doing it without space jump sucks.
All right.
Yeah,
well-
I think that's good enough for me.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
GG's.
GG.
Yep. So yeah, we will close it out here. And right now, what else is happening on the SpeedGaming channels? Let's have a look. We've still got the SNES Superstars Marathon going on SpeedGaming 1, and I think that's all that's going on right now. If you would like to see more Metroid Prime randomizer action, the Echoes Randomizer Weekly will return on Saturday, the 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern, followed the next day by another Prime Weekly with even settings. So we do hope you will join us for that. Once again, please follow our two runners, Arrow Razor and Ginger Chris, who have put on a fantastic show for you here this Saturday. Sunday afternoon. Again, shout outs to Gollop for A, tracking this race, and B, making the Corruption Randomizer. We do invite you to check that out too when you get a chance, because Corruption Randomizer is actually pretty fun.
I need to get around with messing with that. I'm trying to wait till I have stuff so I can do it on console.
And also, RoboScout, thank you for joining me here in the booth today.
Thanks thanks Gulp for tracking.
With that said, folks, we do thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you next mission.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah.